It's been a couple of weeks, but here we are at episode 12 of season 3, and it absolutely has went off the rails. I know that may sound rhetorical when it comes to this show, but I mean we hit all the beats of the garbage tier writing that's become synonymous with this show. So why would the second to last episode be any different with a brain-dead ghoul like Caroline Dry's and her cadre of blue checkmark zombies penning scripts that would make a first-year film school student seem like Martin Scorsese? Anyway, on with the show. Alice exits the elevator, dragging a security guard who probably outweighs her by about 100 pounds and says, then for good measure, she just kicks him in the fucking face. Like she's obviously physically beat this guy almost unconscious, then proceeds to beat 3 more security officers so handily it makes Mike Tyson's early work look soft. She's pulling baseball slide takedowns, hitting these much larger guys with a paddle, beating the fuck out of them. And all of a sudden pulls out a handgun and just shoots one of them. And of course he's a white guy, because Caroline and her fucking retards have zero problem with killing off problematic cis heteronormative white males on a whim. My questions are as follows. Why didn't Alice just use the gun once she got out of the elevator instead of ridiculously unbelievable fight sequence taking place?
You will be silent!
Number 2. Why didn't security just fucking shoot her?
Okay, now to be fair.
To be fair.
I mean, come the fuck on. How many motherfucking times are we gonna see a 5-foot, 100-pound woman physically dominate multiple grown, physically fit men who outweigh their counterparts by over 100 fucking pounds or more? I mean, is this how these fucking writers actually believe that these confrontations would go? Or is it just some fucking intersectional power fantasy being played out in front of our eyes, thinly veiled as a quote-unquote superhero show, which has completely bastardized the source material and made a fucking mockery of it? So after Alice dispatches 4 grown men, killing one, she ransacks the office of Black Joker, aka Marquise, pronounced Marcus, because he's fucking stupid. And his gay Asian lawyer comes in, gay Asian? He's Gaysian! So the Gaysian proclaims,
"You're Alice! Oh my godsies!"
She responds, and mind you, she has the joy buzzer in her hand. I was Alice. Puts the buzzer to her head and then buzzes herself.
Want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
Alice wakes up in Mary's abortion clinic hooked to machines, and Mary says they found her passed out under Marquise, pronounced Marcus, because he's fucking stupid's pool table, and Mary asks how she feels, and Alice says, I feel like Beth again, and starts to fucking cry. I want to fucking cry because I'm writing my 7th paragraph of dialogue, and I'm literally 2 fucking minutes into this fucking show. Oh, fuck me.
Duh.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
I was a little frustrated. Batwoman, that's just a car. Somebody's watching this show. That like really annoyed me. Batwoman is still doing quite well. It doesn't even look like Batwoman.
Peter, I'm really starting to question why I'm even friends with you in the first place.
Next thing you know, Alice is in court as Beth, having a hearing regarding her past traumas and sins and transgressions, and that one single charge from the joy buzzer has in fact rewired her fucking brain, and she has the ability to empathize and feel love again. So they just let her fucking go, because that's how all of this works in the world of lesbianism. Also, it plays into a much bigger fucking theme that has run throughout the course of this fucking show. Women are never held accountable for their actions. Ever. Alice was a psychopathic serial killer. Hell, she just murdered an unarmed security guard in the previous scene, which she had already physically beaten, but now all of the murders are simply forgiven, because who are most of her victims? Men, and more specifically, white men. So why should she be punished in the eyes of the writers when all she was doing was eliminating the biggest enemy of intersectional feminazis and retard woke fucks, a lot of whom are self-loathing, pathetic cucks, ineffectual liberal white males and such. So killing these men is a victimless crime to one of these fucking retards.
Fuck me, right?
As Alice is leaving the courthouse, Ryan is out on the steps and Alice tries to walk to her and Ryan says,
You know I needed that buzzer for Marquise pronounced Marcus because he's fucking retarded, right?
and Alice retorts, You know I needed it for me. And in a bitchy, self-righteous tone, ripe with unearned moral superiority, Ryan says,
The court of public opinion may have changed on you, but that doesn't change the truth.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Ryan, let me say one thing to you that needs to be said, and I can't articulate it any better than this. You stupid fucking cunt. Shut your fucking mouth, because grown folks are talking. You're not and never have been Batwoman, because you're not a protector of Gotham, nor have you ever done one thing during your tenure as Batfaker to serve the interest of the greater good. Everything you've done has been self-serving because you're a narcissistic fucking twat whose only motivation is scissoring other lesbicans. From Angelique Says to Amani to your current entanglement with Sophie the massive whore. You're a fucking piece of shit and you've earned nothing and accomplished even less. Unless you count losing Wayne Enterprises while you masqueraded around as acting CEO, you fucking dolt. So back to the story. Ryan cries because the buzzer doesn't work anymore, and Alice is at her own grave when she's approached by Ocean, who says she doesn't deserve a happy ending. After he keels over and we find the whole thing is just a fucking delusion, and Alice is back in the subway in the train car, and she's crying because she never had the joy buzzer in the first place, and she's just in the midst of a nervous breakdown. The whole scenario is imaginary, and it doesn't change anything that I said, because Ryan is still a fucking dumb bitch and she hasn't earned anything, and her character is complete shit.
There ain't no fluff here.
In the parking lot, Batwoman catches Marquise Jet's lawyer and has him hanging upside down by his feet with a batarang and a cable, and cut to the massive whore Sophie, who's alone in bed in Kate's apartment, not Ryan's, because she's basically squatting in Kate's fucking house, and says, If you leave me alone in bed, you better have coffee, when she hears someone entering, and to her embarrassment, she sees Jada Jet, the CEO of Strong Independent Black Woman Who Don't Need No Man Industries, walk in, and she says, Cream and sugar, dear?
Cream and sugar, dear?
Back at the abortion clinic, Alice is looking for antipsychotics and Mary is screaming at her, and Mary is crying about Ryan needing a buzzer for her brother, and Alice says, You need it for your sister, and Mary starts blaming Alice for the fact that she killed the expendable white male in the woods, and Mary fucking cries and of course plays victim and blames Alice for everything.
So, I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
Back at Ryan's apartment, Jada shows up and Sophie starts to get pissy with her when she asks if this is supposed to be the Gilmore Girls. Then Sophie goes on to say that no one would be in this position if Jada had treated Marquise, pronounced Marcus, because he's fucking stupid, like a criminal instead of her precious baby boy. Shit. Finally, Sophie with a bit of intelligent dialogue for a change. And she also mentioned the fucking fact that Black Joker destroyed the tape, proving he murdered his dad. And my question is, why did Jada Jet, the brilliant CEO of Strong Independent Black Woman Who Don't Need No Man Industries, not have the foresight to make a couple copies of the tape just in case? Ryan shows up and her and Jada are going through Black Joker's computer, and they find out that Marcus is going after Barbara Keene, aka Jim Gordon's ex-wife. Jada leaves abruptly and Sophie follows her. Sophie catches her at the end of a phone call and Jada says, How'd you get down here so fast? Sophie responds with, And I could not make this up. It's a lesbian bar. Know your exits.
It's a lesbian bar. Know your exit.
What?
It's a lesbian bar. Know your exit.
What the hell does that mean? This is Lesbos! What?
So Jada is warning the other members of the Black Glove Society that Black Joker is onto them, and as Jada left in a limo, another one pulled up right afterwards, and Sophie figures out that Jada was just kidnapped by Black Joker. But the bigger question is, who the fuck cares? Mary has the bright fucking idea to go and visit the woman whose husband she killed as Poison Mary or Asian Ivy, and tells her that she has information about his death. How self-righteous is Mary to have the
Sheer
fucking hubris.
and go and visit her victim's widow, and in all likelihood attempt to play like she's the actual victim and not the man she murdered in cold blood, because why would anybody hold a female accountable for her actions? Alice is back at Black Joker's lair, and she sees Mouse, who's been dead since fucking season 1, and they exchange dialogue that I couldn't have been less interested in, therefore I don't know what they said. I don't care. It was ridiculous. And then she goes after Mrs. Turk, who's using some kind of fucking grinder, and she wants to find the joy buzzer. Luke finds out about Jada's limo, and he notices that Sophie is wearing the same clothes she wore yesterday and comments on it. And, well, I think we all know why that is. Because Sophie is a massive fucking whore. That's right. And all she wants to do is scissor. She's obsessed with fucking getting...
Yeah, scissor!
Alice is threatening Kiki Roulette. Ugh, God. Kiki. Here we go. Kiki.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding?
And as she tries to stab Alice, Black Joker shoots her and retrieves the joy buzzer from her pocket. And then there's this fucking line where Alice says, Marcus Jet. And he responds with,
In the flesh, don't steal it.
Flash. Don't steal it.
and you know Alice was just sitting back, just thinking about him like...
He was a retard.
It's supposed to be funny because Alice used to make butt skin masks, but... Ha ha, fuck you, Caroline Dries. I bet you and those cattle you call writers were pissing soy and kale because they thought that line was just so hilarious. Alice tells Marquise, pronounced Marcus because he's fucking retarded, that she wants to use the buzzer on herself, and he calls her a queen of mayhem. So he hit her with the laughing gas, and she drops and passes out, then wakes up naked and so... Oh, sorry, that was a Cosby script I was reading off of.
I can't change your mind.
Black Joker has all the Black Glove Society members all tied to chairs, all of whom are white except for his mom, Miss Jada Jet, you know, the CEO of strong, independent black women who don't need no man industries. And they'll all die, maybe, except for her, because, you know, fuck white people, am I right? So, dumb fuck Black Joker says, this is the final meeting of the Black Glove Society, because you're all going to die tonight. And then asks Alice if she's having fun yet. I mean, I don't care if these people die, but the show has set an absolute baseline of killing the white people in the show off at alarmingly high rates and without a second thought. I mean, if they did that with black people, if you juxtapose this and did this with black characters or brown characters, the show would be facing boycotts, calls for cancellation, because black characters matter. Yes, Tom, we are inside the helicopter and we are looking at a literal dumpster fire, and there seems to be some protesters. Let's see if we can hear what they're saying.
Black characters matter. Black characters matter. Black characters matter.
It sounds like they're angry over black characters, Tom. Back to you in the studio. So Black Joker goes on monologuing about how the Black Glove Society kills their own kids and...
Yada, yada, yada.
And he gasses one of them, and she doesn't die, as we find out later, but, you know, she could have, because she's a white character, and they don't matter.
That's racist!
Mary actually sits down and tells the widow and her son she knows her husband's killer, and the lady turns around stone-faced and said, Alice owned up to the murder, and her youngest son identified Alice as the killer. And she says she assumed that's why Mary was going to come in, and that's what she was going to tell her. And of course, Mary sees him out without taking any responsibility, and she of course walks through that open door, because that's what narcissistic sociopaths like Mary do.
Who's the asshole?
The Black Joker is killing off the generic white people one by one because they don't matter, and Alice KOs him before he can use the joy buzzer on Jada, and they fight until he knocks her down and asks her to be the Joker to his Harley. That's a good note to start a relationship on. A little bit of physical abuse, I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing, in which, holla. So we get the little Marquise Jet flashback, and we see the worst fucking Joker I have ever seen, which the retards at CBR call the most comic accurate Jokers these ever. He shocks little Black Joker, little Marquise. And it turns out the bus that killed Kate and Beth's mom was driven by the Joker, and Marquise tells Alice they were, quote-unquote, born on the same day. Alice says, what if I give you something that would make the Joker wish he were you?
You're
What if I were to give you something that would make the Joker wish he were you?
Is it head? Head. It's head, isn't it? Alice?
No, I don't think I will.
So Black Lives Matter woman shows up at the Black Glove Society party, seems kind of redundant, but okay, and saves Jada, but fuck the rest of these white people.
Pack your things. We're leaving.
Sophie has Alice at gunpoint and wants to buzz her. And Alice disarms Sophie, takes her gun, and tries to buzz herself, but Ryan, of course, knocks it out of her hand with a batarang, and Cuckwing flies in, takes the buzzer away, while Ryan handcuffs Alice, and Alice screeches and cries the whole time because she wants to buzz herself. But no, we have to save Marcus, because why do we have to save Marcus? Why? Why is it more important to save Marcus than Alice when Marcus is literally fucking nobody to this entire story? Ryan is literally nobody to this entire story. It's garbage. She's not Batwoman. This has been kind of eating at me. Like I said, coming into this, I wasn't the hugest Batwoman fan, but I mean, my God, you've taken the entire meaning of the story and the character and just thrown it away, and it's nosedived spectacularly over 2 seasons. But please, tell me more about how important it was to have a character that nobody wanted, nobody asked for. Then you bring Kate Kane back, quote unquote, with Circe Sionis, played by Wallace Day, who could have easily stepped in and played Kate Kane. But no, you're like, that would mean getting rid of a black character, and you would not do that because God knows your narrative and agenda are more important than the ratings or making money with the show, right? Now, back to our regularly scheduled review. Back inside, Black Joker and Ryan get into a fight, and Ryan unmasks, and Black Joker spews meaningless dialogue that doesn't matter, and Ryan admits that she was jealous of him because he had everything. Then he just shoots her, which really doesn't matter because her suit's bulletproof, and, why didn't he shoot her in the face, is my question. Jada gets him at gunpoint, and she shoots the freeze tank out of his hand, and then he escapes, and they just let him go. Just let him go. It doesn't matter. Jada and Ryan hug. Who fucking wrote this? Oh, I know.
Why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Our next scene is an action-packed sequence.
You serious?
Sophie is confiding to Ryan that she's never been in an out relationship with a girl before. Hey, for the first time this episode, I get to use it.
The lesbian!
Remember when Sophie was married to a white guy at the beginning of the show?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But not anymore. She's a fierce lesbian who don't need no pale, stale white male. All she needs is a queen like Ryan. So there's a lot of extraneous dialogue here for no fucking reason, when we know they're all just gonna scissor until cockblockers Mary and Luke enter, and dumb fuck Ryan is still going to try to save Black Joker for some reason, even though he's a murdering psychopath. But hey, we gotta save him, right? Black characters matter.
It's all bullshit. All of it.
Then Mary figures out that Ryan and Sophie are together and has to explain it to Luke because he's a brain-dead fucking moron. And Mary and Luke leave, and she's acting like 2 black lesbians is the most stunning, brave, and courageous thing she's ever seen in her entire life. Meanwhile, Alice is being thrown back into her cell at Arkham because Ryan, Sophie, and Luke basically said, "Fuck you, white bitch. We saving a king, not your pasty pale cave bitch ass." She turns around and the orderlies are Mouse and unassuming, non-threatening Ocean. Alice slaps one of their hands, and it's Mary who had come to see her, not Ryan or Ocean or whoever else is dead in Alice's past they want to drag up to make her look horrible. Alice begs to get herself out. Mary instead says thank you, basically thanking her for taking the murder rap, but Alice tells Mary that she told Black Joker how to get into the Batcave. When we see dumb shit walking into the aforementioned Batcave, clapping like a retarded seal, he says, "Let's have some fun!" And that's mercifully it. This episode is completely fucked on every imaginable level. all the way from Ryan showing the fact she's not concerned with anyone or anything but herself and her own interest, Mary's a complete spineless idiot, Sophie is basically useless, and Cuckwing is equally useless and spineless, and that forms some amalgamation that I can't even comprehend. And the heroes won't save you unless you're a minority because white people are bad. These characters aren't heroes, they're cosplay retards, cast due to their melanin count, not their acting ability, which is evident due to the overall quality or lack thereof of the show. Caroline Dries and her fucking morons took something that could have been good. The first season had decent ratings and turned it into a complete and utter shit show, rife with contemporary identity politics, ridiculous BLM and ACAB shit storylines, along with constant anti-white rhetoric and anti-male basic misandry on full display. But if it was misogyny, it'd be fine. Right? No, it wouldn't. You people would piss yourselves over that. Also, no woman is ever accountable for her actions, ever, under any circumstances, should she be held accountable for anything she has ever done. It's always the fault of some toxic man. In all likelihood, that man is white. Seriously, though, fuck this show. I'll see you guys next week for the goddamn finale.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. Boom!